In this video, and as a point of reference for the 2023 NFL season, I am going to be talking about my 8 least favorite football teams and why they're there. And at the number 8 spot is the Kansas City Chiefs. Now, the obvious reason why I don't like the Chiefs is, oh, you don't like them because they beat the Philadelphia Eagles. That's part of it. But it's not the whole story. Not the whole story. The Kansas City Chiefs have been to 5 consecutive AFC championship games. And if that sounds familiar, my least favorite baseball team, the Houston Astros, has been to 6 consecutive ALCS games. And they've been up to some shady business with sign stealing, as we are aware of. Now, the Chiefs don't have any known scandals yet, but considering how they've been comparing Patrick Mahomes to Tom Brady, I don't like that because Tom Brady's a known cheater, Deflategate and all that. So in that regard, it's too early to say if Patrick Mahomes has been doing any shady business yet. But the fact that he's the same personality as Tom Brady speaks against him. As such, that is why I'm putting the Kansas City Chiefs at number 8. But in the number 7 spot, and the reason why I rooted for the Chiefs in the AFC Championship game, you got the Cincinnati Bengals. Alright, so what are my problems with the Cincinnati Bengals? First of all, they're the cockiest team ever after they got to the Super Bowl last year. Did I root for them in 56? Yes. And I know that they were against a team who was high up on the list. That's not why I rooted for them. I didn't even care about football that much for that. It's because my family rooted for the Bengals over the Rams. And I didn't like LA sports. But Cincinnati is giving me some problems. They, first of all, like to act like they're better than everyone else. And second of all, that Damar Hamlin situation, I think the Bengals could have done just a little bit more to have prevented it. Not sure what they could have done, but I feel like something else could have been done to have maybe not made it as bad as it was, to have not forced the injury to be so bad as to the point where it warranted a cancellation. Oh, and then them going against the Bills fans, better get them refunds. As much as I might have done that, in such a highly sensitive situation in which pretty much nobody was rooting for the Cincinnati Bengals, not exactly the smartest move. And at the number 6 spot, you got the Los Angeles Rams. One of my favorite football teams is going to be the Seattle Seahawks because I dream college is in fact located in Seattle. So, as a result of that, the Los Angeles Rams are one of their biggest rivals. They are a big rival to the Seahawks. And I put the San Francisco 49ers at the number 5 spot, just a little bit higher, just because I do think that the 49ers are a better team than the Rams. But I mean, the Rams, they're my division rival. And by the way, the Arizona Cardinals would be high on this list. Just other teams that mean that they can't be quite as high as you might want to think that they are. And yes, the number 5 spot is the San Francisco 49ers. I will say the 49ers have done good stuff. Thank you for eliminating the Dallas Cowboys. I really appreciated that. However, the 49ers in general, I don't like. They call the Seattle Seahawks the Seattle Sea Chickens, which I think is personally messed up severely. And again, division rivalry, it really keeps us apart. Now, the number 4 spot is going to be the Miami Dolphins. I like the Buffalo Bills, but that is absolutely not the reason why I put the Dolphins so high on this list. Rather, the reason is because of the fact that they engaged in tampering. And we know what my thoughts on cheating are, is that I absolutely stand against it, and I hate any team that does any such thing. The Dolphins engaged in tampering. I don't know who was responsible for it. And, it left a really bad impression in my mouth about the Miami Dolphins. It just did. They used to be my number 3 least favorite team, but rising pressure from other forces forced me to put it instead as the Eagles' biggest rival. The reason why the Eagles are the most hated football team in New Mexico, Texas, Oklahoma, and Arkansas. And that is the Dallas Cowboys. Dallas Cowboys. So, they're a better team than the Eagles, despite not having made it past the divisional round since 1995. In addition to that, the Cowboys are the Eagles' biggest enemy. So, that really just doesn't give me a lot of reason to like them. Now, I will say the Cowboys were the reason why Tom Brady retired, most likely. He did not like getting out in a wild card round because who does? And that was probably the one time I'm ever going to root for the Dallas Cowboys. In general, I don't like them. They pretty much control the NFC East, and I wish the Eagles did. And the Eagles absolutely must beat the Dallas Cowboys in the future. They must. Now, the number 2 spot is the New York Jets, and the number 1 spot is the New York Giants. But rather than debate both of them separately, I'm actually going to knock out 2 stones with 1 punch. Or whatever. So knock out 2 birds with 1 stone. I'm going to talk about why I hate the teams concurrently and at the same time. For the Giants, it makes sense. I'm an Eagles fan. But why did I become such an Eagles fan in the first place? A big reason why was because I had always hated the Giants. And this is why the Jets are right there at number 2. The Giants had always been looking to get out of New York City. And after some controversy in the 1980s where New York tried to force them to stay in, they escaped into New Jersey anyway. Now, I don't like the fact that they escaped New York anyway. It's costing the state a lot of money. New Jersey is profiting off of this. I think that New Jersey is one of the few states that is worse than New York. Tons of reasons why I'd be unhappy about them moving to New Jersey in the first place. But what I think makes it even worse is that unlike the New Jersey Devils and unlike what the New Jersey Nets used to do, the Giants and Jets are still using that deceptive New York advertising, trying to lure people to believe that they are in fact a New York team. This has 2 problems in my opinion. First of all, the fact that they are New York teams prevents New York City from having a real football team. New York City is not going to be getting a football team because everyone thinks that we already have the Giants and the Jets. The long story short is we really don't. And I'd appreciate it if someone else could take control of the Giants and the Jets. I heard that there's wonderful cities on the East Coast that would just love to have, on the Eastern U.S. that just love to have football teams. I'd appreciate if you could take at least one of them away from us, and then maybe another team could actually move to New York City and represent us. Maybe we could even do a trade of some sort or something. I don't know. And the number 2 is that they're claiming to be from a place they aren't. They're claiming to advertise as a New York team while playing in New Jersey. It's hard on New Yorkers, if they want to see Giants and Jets games, to get there. It's pretty much hard for everyone. There's no winning solution. I do think that the lawsuit filed against them had some faults. I think that they could have made their case clearer. I think that they could have gotten a state to try to demand that there was a contract violation and that they shouldn't have left New York in the first place to have gone to New Jersey, especially while not giving New York any of the profits. Unfortunately, there's likely little benefit to that. When they made the most money was back in the 2014 Super Bowl when the Seahawks destroyed the Broncos. I don't like the Broncos either. And I think that there's not that much that can be done. I think we're mostly in a lost cause point right now, but I do think that just if something could please happen with the Giants and Jets, I would appreciate it. Now, were the Tampa Bay Buccaneers one of my least favorite teams? Yes, but Brady's gone. And I would not like the Raiders if Tom Brady joined on the Raiders, which meant that if I don't like the Raiders, Broncos, and Chiefs, I'd kind of be forced to be a Chargers fan at that point. I don't know. I find it really hard if you hate 3 teams in the division to then not hate the 4th. In case you're wondering why I don't hate the Commanders, Commanders kind of suck. I mean, I know that they won the NFC East in 2020, but that was just a really bad NFC East. They had a 7-9 record. Compare it to like the NFC South of 2022 in a way, on how the 8-9 Buccaneers were able to somehow sneak into the playoffs. Compare it with that, except it's like even worse now. And it could have almost been worse. Had the Commanders lost to the Eagles, the 6-10 Giants would have made it in.